Hi, folks. Welcome back to the official catch-up, and we've got a wee bit of a smaller squad on today. It's just myself, Derek, and I'm joined by our man in the West, Ben. How you doing, mate?
Not bad. Maybe we call it sort of the dynamic duo.
The dynamic duo, the
I could be
West-based duo.
so dynamic duo. I'm doing good, mate. How are you?
Aye, good, good. It's a bit weird that we've not got any Kelty voices on, but I'm
I know.
quite enjoying it.
It's a West takeover. It's a West takeover.
Aye, we've not been on for a few weeks, folks. Basically just because we've not had much to talk about after Doncaster Gate, shall we say? But it looks like we might have football coming back sooner than we thought, which obviously is a brilliant thing. So we'll get into that and we'll talk about a few other things that have came up, issues and transfers and all that kind of jazz as we go. And listen out for over the next couple of weeks. We'll probably have a full-on transfer roundup looking at the Lowland, the West of Scotland and also the East of Scotland as well. And might split into a few different podcasts as we go. But so first things first, football could be back in October and we could have fans back. What's your thoughts?
Wow, it'd be great, wouldn't it? I think it's all what we're hoping for, isn't it? It's that thing where we're all desperate for football to come back. I was saying this the other day. I've quite enjoyed lockdown, but I miss restaurants and football on a Saturday. That's the two things I miss. So yeah, we'd be delighted to be able to get football back and get back to a wee bit more sense of normality at the weekend, certainly. So yeah, and I know all the players will be desperate to play. They must be pretty bored at the moment, so desperate to get back playing football.
And I mean, luckily, I think if it had gone on too long, clubs might have been in danger. But it sounds like pretty much all Lowland region clubs will be all right for coming back if it is October. And even if it is socially distant and kind of caps on the crowds, they're still going to get some money in the bank. So fingers crossed, we should be all right.
Yeah, well, I think most clubs should be able to do the socially distance thing without too much effect on their crowd numbers. Mm-hmm. I think if you look at a lot of the teams, there'll be some teams who only get like 50 fans in. Do you know what I mean? So they've got a chance to really spread it out, and then you might pick up more people who want to go to the football as well. So, yeah, I think hopefully it'll work out for everyone.
I mean, Darvel will find a way to get the right fans in, I'm sure, but...
Well, they've got new seats. They've got a seat each now. The 8 fans, they'll have a seat each. In fact, they've a row each, perhaps. I don't know how big the stand is, but they must have about a row each, the 8 fans. So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
By the time you hear this, I'll probably trademark that 8 fans, by the way, so keep an eye on that.
T-shirts coming soon.
But obviously, the side effect of football coming back is what's going to be the difference, what changes are coming in. And we're either going to have basically half a league season or a full league season cammed in to, I think the reckoning was there would only be one free weekend if we try to get a full league season played with all league fixtures in the normal timescales. So we're still waiting on clarity, but the whisper is, for the West anyway, that we might have a half league schedule. That was broken in the media the other day.
Yeah.
So what effect do you think that would have on teams' plan ahead, especially now given that it's been confirmed that 7 teams are going to get relegated from the West of Scotland Premier Division?
Yeah, that'll make it interesting because you're going to have to start strong. I think that's the main thing about your restart is that you're going to have to come out the blocks firing because you don't want to be left behind in that Premier Division as it's now known. 7 teams potentially. I think even maybe 8, depending on what happens in the Lowland. Am I right? I think
that's right. There is a scenario where an extra team would need to get relegated, but it's unlikely. I would say because it would mean that a West side would need to get relegated from the Lowland itself.
Yeah.
And of the candidates there, I don't really see Cali Braves or BSC being relegation candidates, to be honest. Right. It's more likely to be a South or an East team at this point.
Right, okay. I remember seeing that mentioned. I'll be honest, I'm all for the 7 teams going down in the one season. It sorts out pretty quickly. It sorts the wheat from the chaff out, and we get on to the kind of normal setup as of next season. I'm surprised that teams are voting for it, to be honest, in a whole kind of voting structure. Because I thought that the teams would be more scared of that as an option, but they obviously see it as a chance to. You obviously got to back yourself to be in the top 13 or 12 or whatever it'll be. So yeah, you've got to think. You've got to put yourself in that position and say start strong and make sure you keep yourself out of danger.
I saw, I think it was Glencairn, came out and said that, to be honest, it's no different for any other season. in the old junior setup, and that the top 13 are safe, basically. So
Yeah.
the way they're seeing it is just get it over and done with in a season and get running again, which I quite like that mentality, to be honest. And I think it's something the Lowlands could maybe take a leaf at the page for the West teams and say, right, now that you've done that, let's look at relegation. Because
Yeah.
just to confirm, there is only going to be one relegation spot in the coming season from the Lowland. And we're obviously hoping that it'll become 2 and maybe 3 in years to come, depending on what happens, just because there's so many good teams now in the West and East and the South. Let's not forget them. But it's going to be whoever wins the West and whoever wins the East, obviously the South, but they're more unlikely to get promotion. It doesn't mean you're up, basically.
No, that's it. And you've got
And
to
we'd like
get
to get that to a point where it does mean you go up.
to get your license as well, isn't it? You've got to get your.
That's right. That's right.
So
Aye. So,
there'll only be a number of teams that can do that anyway.
aye. And just to clarify as well, because we have had questions in the past, say if Darvel won the West Premier but didn't have their licence, the second place team wouldn't jump into the playoffs
All right.
after
Okay.
that. So it's the champions or named that go into
Right.
the
Right.
playoffs.
Okay. That's interesting.
Which that's why the year that Kelty went up, they had a playoff because the South winners had a licence. But in previous years, it's not been the case. They've basically just been given promotion because they're the only licensed team that's won a league.
Ah,
So,
right. Okay. I thought it would just be like the whole thing would be to be the best licensed team in your league. Really, is what the aim would be.
aye.
But no, okay. It's champions only. That's interesting. Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out as well.
I think
There
the
is
thing.
a
I think about the licensing just on that. I think teams are going to struggle a little bit this year to get licensed. I think that's going to be a bit more of a challenge for a lot of teams to actually get licensed. So they're maybe this year seeing this as a kind of a survival season and trying to state your claim for the following year sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, there's chances for teams there at the top to make a claim and go for promotion potentially. But I think most teams will be struggling to get their license this year.
Mm-hmm. And while we're kind of touched on the Lowland there, we haven't actually had a podcast since it's been confirmed that Bo'ness have been promoted. So we need to welcome them into the league, first of all. We will now see a 17-team Lowland this coming season. The plan is for it to go back down to 16 teams the year after, which we'll see how that happens. Basically, if the Lowland champions get promotion, they might not need to make any changes, but they've updated the rules. So if anyone wants to see the scenarios, go onto their website and have a nosy at them, because there's too many to talk about in a podcast, to be honest. But Bo'ness, how well do you know them, Ben?
I don't know an awful lot, to be honest. Probably more for talking to you guys. I've kind of heard more about them and what they're like, and hearing the kind of chat about who they're signing and who they're kind of looking to bring in seems to be like they're obviously just going to stake a claim next season in the Lowland League. So it's good to see teams getting promoted, though. That's a good thing. Obviously, teams are wanting to progress through the ranks. It's not a chance for a team like Bo'ness to do that. So yeah, should be interesting.
Definitely. I do think they've done the right thing in getting them promoted because, well, look at this shenanigans in SPFL there now.
It's a mess, isn't it?
It's just a nonsense, but we're not going to get too bad into that again. We've done that before on the pod. One thing I can confirm, because it has now been confirmed by the powers that be, the playoffs are back for this coming season. So they're all being well with the virus and so on. The football's back, and there will be a playoff again with the Highland, the Lowland, and League Two's bottom side. Just doesn't matter that they're playing a 27-game season. Even if the Lowland plays half a season the same as the West might do, it's still going to happen, basically. So just to put minds at ease on that front as well. Although we will make sure it happens and keep calling them to account when we need to.
It's got to, yeah.
But other than that, I guess the big burning topic going around the Lowland region just now is teams maybe preparing to go back to football a wee bit too early through training sessions. Now, obviously, we can't say too much here because we can only talk about what we have 100% evidence for.
Correct.
But certain media have put pictures out of a certain team. You all know it's Darwin by now.
We all know it is, yeah.
And we know by all means that they won't have been the only team that's been accused of going back to training early. There's been all sorts flying around social medias. But what's your thoughts, firstly, Ben, just on kind of, I believe now teams can return to training officially by the SFA guidance if they've got insurance.
Aye, that's as of the 20th, I think it is.
Uh-huh.
You've got to have, and you've got to have all the procedures in place for COVID as well. So you've got to
That's
have
right.
certain things in place and prove that you can do that. So, yeah, I mean, teams. The Darvel thing was a strange one. They've obviously been long lensed in the Marhall Forest, haven't they? Which wee bit sneaky, I thought. To be honest, I seen it posted on a forum. I think it's Pine Bovril a couple of days before, and I was like, oh well, that's what's up to them. If they get caught, they get caught. And then about 2 days later, it came out in the press that they were. They shouldn't be doing it. They've been caught red-handed. They have put out a statement, I think, to say it was not actually organised by the clubs.
Yeah.
It seems like the players have just got together to have a bit of a training session in Marhall, which is quite fancy place to be doing your training. I thought
It's not the most subtle place to go to do a training session, is it?
yeah, I mean, it's not the place where like the likes of like Scotland train and stuff like that.
Aye,
I'm
that's right,
sure, like
Marhol, yeah.
yeah. So fair play. I mean, Darvel obviously the players have decided, so that's what they want to do, and you live and die by your actions. So I don't think they're going to get in trouble now. I think they'll probably learn the lesson, take the pills, and get on with it. So, but no, let's be honest. But the good news is we're getting it back. That's the important thing, that the teams can get back training and start preparing for this restart in kind of end of September, beginning of October. So yeah, it's silly, but it's what it is. I guess it's done with now, and let's move on. I guess it's one of those things. There's not much we can do about it.
The thing is, if we take that statement at face value, and there's no reason not to, clubs can't stop players getting together for a training session. And we know, one of the things we do know for a fact is players of different clubs are getting together and training. Was always going to happen. But even look at all levels. Down south, you had Man City's Foden got caught doing it, and you had Chelsea players caught doing it in the park. Like
Jose Mourinho, not out, but like Jose Mourinho right at the beginning of lockdown, he had 3 of them out doing heading practice apparently or something.
Aye, but it's going to happen.
Place in London, yeah. So
I don't really like. There was a massive furore built up over it. I don't really get why, because ultimately footballers are going to go and meet up with their pals and train to get ready for the season.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's probably, I would imagine that people have been gathering in gardens having a few beers and stuff like that. It's not really any different if you're 10 metres apart kicking a ball to each other. It's not really the worst thing in the world. So it's one of those. But I guess if you've seen this since the start of lockdown, everyone's been all about kind of bending the rules to their own satisfaction. So it doesn't surprise me anyway. I mean, just look at all our society been doing it right now. So you just look at the whole thing with the masks. They've got to wear masks in shops, and people are still not wanting to wear masks and things and moaning about it. But people are just going to either do or they don't by the rules. So it's what it is. It's what we come to expect, I think.
Aye, definitely. But I guess in a slightly brighter note, now that we've got the announcement that football looks like it's back with fans in October, teams have started making their squads get ship-shape and ready, and transfers have started happening, and there's been a few real eye-catching ones. If we start with the Lowlands League first of all, and we'll move into the other leagues afterwards, I think Kelty's kind of made the most eye-catching move today. It's just been announced. But we'll get into them shortly. The one I want to talk about first is East Kilbride, because they're a team that had a wee bit of a disappointing season last time, and they're looking to make amends, clearly. Paul Payton is an unbelievable signing for them.
Coming straight from Dunfermline, is that right?
Unbelievable signing, straight from Dunfermline, where he was club captain, bear in mind.
Yeah, he'll be a great player for them. Yeah. Is he midfield, doesn't he?
He is, aye, but he can do double duty in defence and so on as well. But more importantly, he's a leader. Yeah. And that's what that dressing room needs, I feel like. There was a few personalities in there, but nobody to just grab them by the scruff of the neck and say, right, come on. Malcolm's a good captain, but he doesn't really strike me as a putting somebody in their place type guy, if you get me.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul Payton's shying away from any physical altercations in there. But now that we've touched on that, I guess we need to go to Kelty, despite the fact that the boys aren't here.
That's right.
because if anyone hasn't seen it, it was teased. Everyone said it was going to be Joe Cardle because that's been a rumour
Ricardo
that's going
again.
for 18 months at this point. Um, but no, they've opened the checkbook. They've brought in Callum Higginbotham, ex Dunfermline, ex Kelly, cracking forward player. Real statement of intent for Kelty, who up until now hadn't really done too much.
Chris had kind of teased if going to be an unbelievable signing. As a Kilmarnock fan, I don't really remember Callum Higginbotham as a Kilmarnock player, I'll be honest. I do remember him scoring one of those little cheeky penalties, one of those little chipped penalties at one point. He'd probably been around at the time when we were all over the place as a Kilmarnock team. We didn't have Steve Clark. We were kind of toiling at the bottom of the league. But I guess the thing about Kim will be is he's probably going to be a good signing for the Lowland League. He's going to be a great player in the Lowland League. Despite whatever I think about him as a Kilmarnock player, I think he'll be excellent at that level. He could potentially one of the best players in that league. I think there's be hard push to beat him as a creative player in the middle of the park.
Although the kind of downside for Kelty is in the same couple of days have lost their fullbacks.
Yep.
Gary Chenarazzo, there you go, Gary Chen, I'm not going to shorten your name. And Linton has retired as well. So the two of them outstanding players, especially Linton, just his set piece ability for Kelty was a game changer for them last season. They'll need to replace them, but if the standard of play they're getting is ex-Premiership players like that, who knows? They could potentially bring anyone in at this point.
Stevie Smith. Could be Stevie
There
Smith.
you go, there's a name, folks.
There's a name. that was the unbelievable signing from Kilmarnock I thought it was going to be. So I was wrong. But I'll be interested to see what happens, because I guess if you're seeing teams like East Kilbride strengthen, then Kelty are going to have to keep up with them as well, because they'll be East Kilbride presumably with a new manager, for example, coming in looking to maybe mix up and get back to the top of that division. So should be an interesting league for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then the flip side of the kind of so-called bigger sides getting their players in is that some of the sides down the table are struggling a wee bit. Vale Leith in particular, I've seen have lost 3 of their best players over the last month or so. So do you think this whole scenario where obviously money's a wee bit tighter and football not coming back to October, do you think that's going to really affect the weird teams regardless of in this kind of scenario?
Yeah, I think you will. I think we've seen it already happening with some players where players have said they've had offers from some clubs early in the kind of close season, and they weren't really prepared to wait for their club that they were at to really offer them a deal, because they want to secure a deal themselves. And as much as they maybe like the loyalty of being with the club that might have been with her for years, it's hard to turn down a contract when you've got a contract on the table. So I think you'll find that the lower level teams will definitely going to struggle through and try and get players. Maybe they'll just have to bring in more youth guys and try and maybe bit of stability over the next season. I guess the main thing for all these teams is try and stay up. That's probably the focus this year. Like a lot of teams will be, is to just try and maybe consolidate and kind of go again next year. Almost, I think it's probably a good way to think of realistically, rather than, I know fans will want to see teams challenge and win every match and that this and that, but I think if you're being realistic, you really just have to think about better stability, consolidate, and then move on to the following season, 21-22. So,
aye. I mean, like I said at the very start, we will have a proper in and out of squads and transfers coming up in the weeks to come, guys. We don't want to get too deep into it just now, when everything's still changing. Basically, like I say, Kelty have just made that signing today, that announcement, and apparently they're down the line with a couple other ones.
Right,
they're saying on Twitter as well. I will, just before we move on to the West, give a very quick shout out to Dalbeattie, who seem to have done some unbelievable business there as well, especially Orsi coming in, looks like a cracking signing. For a team that I thought might struggle this year, it looks like they're doing the right things early doors. So shout out to you guys at Star as well. But into more familiar ground for you then, but the West.
Indeed.
What has caught your eye transfer business wise?
I mean, let's be honest, straight to the point, innit? Darvel again. Absolutely no beating about the bush there. They are bringing in some top quality players.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely class. Ian McShane, Jordan Allen, two players that I've noticed. They signed Liam Caddis as well, who is a lot of the players I speak to. They're saying that Liam Caddis is one of the best players in our league last year. So he's went to Darvel, and they've already had quite a strong defence last year. So they've been adding the kind of midfield and forwards to the lineup. So absolutely some great signings there. The other one, I think, Troon,
Yep.
Christian Nadi turned up back at Troon. I think he went to Arran last year and scored quite a few goals there. He's came back. Troon also signed Ryan Stevenson again. I think I slagged Ryan Stevenson off this podcast a few weeks back.
I'm sure you did, aye.
And then he turned up about a week later with Troon, so I'll be keeping away from him. But I guess Christian is probably a similar kind of vein. It's that kind of top level professional, and he's kind of fallen down the leagues, but he's going to be a good player for Troon.
Definitely.
They always needed a goal scorer, and that's what Nadi has always been wherever he's went. So, yeah, good signing for them.
I mean, that West Premier now is looking brilliant, I must say. I know that we expected it to be competitive anyway, and the leagues below will be even more competitive to a point. But when you just look at, basically Darvel are saying to Talbot, to Kilwinning, to anyone else that, like Clydebank will maybe fancy our chances as well. We're here to win this, you know?
Yeah.
How do you see this playing out early doors? I know it's crystal ball time, but...
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I think if you look at Talbot, Talbot have kept pretty much all their squad from last year, and that was a great squad. I think the only one I haven't seen re-sign is Keir Sampson, which is the young forward. He's still to re-sign, but they've brought back all the guys that were excellent last year. I mean, Graham Wilson, Mark Shankland, all these guys. Neil McPherson, I think he was rumoured maybe going to Darvel at one point. He's come back to Talbot. Still got Craig McCracken at centre back. The goalie Andy Leishman, strong guys. So they're strong. I think looking at ourselves, we've brought in a new number one potentially, and Jamie Bartley straight out of high school. Yeah, East Stirlingshire. That's a strong goalie. We've kept most of our squad again as well, so we'll be hoping to kind of try to emulate what we did last year. Pollock, I think they signed Darren Christie from Beath, who's a right winger, and he's an excellent player. So it'll be. I think the thing about the top sides in the league is they've either stayed the same in terms of they're already strong, or they've got stronger over the last over the course season. Darvel are obviously coming from the Championship, so maybe untested at our level. I would say. I mean, I think they've played a few friendlies last year against Premier Division sides, and I don't know how they got on in all of them, but I certainly don't think they were like miles ahead of them in any stretch. Always tough matches, so I think they'll be there or thereabouts. But I'm going to back Win again. I think we did so well last year. We've got a strong squad. I don't see why that wouldn't be any different this year. We've made the additions like we mentioned. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tasty league certainly. And the fact you've got the 6 teams going down next year, that's going to make it really interesting because you're going to have to want to be in that kind of top half probably most of the season. And even if you look at say the Lights History strengthening, they're probably a team that you would say are going to be at the bottom, but strengthening their team the way they are, there's potential there for them to be further up the league. And Irvine Meadow, they've got a new management team in as well, so they've brought some guys in who look capable as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But I think the main thing is come out the traps flying. Is the intention for everybody.
I mean, just in my own opinion, I think of all the leagues, especially non-league in Scotland, that West Premier is the most exciting looking league in paper. Just for how pretty much, I know it's a cliche, but anyone could beat anyone on their day. There's some brilliant signings in there, some proper, like, traditional clubs with fan bases that will support them to the hilt. And just on paper, it looks like a fantastic league, especially with the 7 relegation spots like we've talked about, that it's going to be an absolute dogfight at both sides of it, ultimately. And I'll be making a point to get along to as many games as I can in the West as well. hopefully I'm not scouting for BSC going to it, but he'll be fine. Other than that, if we touch on Easter Scotland just very quickly, I know neither of us particularly are East guys, but the club that's really kind of come to my attention anyway is Linlithgow Rose, because they struggled a wee bit, let's be honest, last season. That they're seen as one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest, in East of Scotland Premier. And they've now got Brian Ferguson as manager. They changed Gaffer during the season. Some of the signings have picked up. Sean Dixon, who previously had experience in the SPFL as well as playing for Hurlford, seems like a really solid signing. Paul Willis coming in for Stirling Albion in there. And the other one was Dean Cairns, who last season was at East Kilbride getting games. Previously was at Airdrie as well. He's only 22, still Dean Cairns, which surprised me. I seem to think, I don't know why, I thought he was mid-20s or older, but it seems like he's been around for a while. He's already got pretty decent experience for a young midfielder. So it looks like Linlithgow have basically decided we've had enough. I kind of been mid-table and comfortable where we are. We want to start progressing, especially with the West coming in. I actually think the West coming over will force these clubs to really push on as well. So the old iron sharpens iron type argument could come in, that they don't want to win their Premier and then get embarrassed in a playoff, do they?
Well,
So
that's it, yeah.
I think it's all going to be good for non-league in this country anyway. And I feel like with the additions they've now made, Linlithgow should be right up there challenging to win that league alongside your Pennycook, your Broxburn, possibly Trinent as well. But pretty impressive in the face anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Linlithgow there. I always think of Linlithgow as a cup side. Like, I always think, I don't, that's like you're saying, a mid-table team, but I always think they always had decent runs in the cup, and I always look forward to playing them in the kind of junior cup and things like that. So, on Linlithgow, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do if they are making these changes. I think the other thing about the other clubs, both East and West, you'll find is that there may be some players still to sign because you'll be waiting for maybe like your League Two, League One boys who are maybe waiting for a contract in League One, League Two, and maybe not getting that deal, maybe have to start looking at the level below. So you might see some late pickups across, I guess, the Lowland and the West and the Andes and the South. So it can only be stronger. I mean, I think that Darv will go back. I know we keep going back to him, but I think there's somebody coming to visit them today or something like that, and potentially could be our signing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's a good point because, like, talking to SPFL clubs, only the other day Airdrie announced that they were getting rid of their reserves and academy, and there's quite a lot of players in there with decent ability. We've already seen the captain of the reserves, Aaron Ross, has joined BSC now, centre back. So expect a few more of their players to disseminate through the West and the Lowland and possibly the East, but more likely the West, I would think, just purely for where they're based. There's other clubs that are making tough decisions up there in terms of young players maybe not getting kept home when they would be normally, just because money's tight. So it wouldn't surprise me to see all the leagues take a wee step up in quality this year.
Yeah.
The flip side of that being the guys that have been at these levels previously, especially BSC, because both of the kind of main strikers, Thomas Orr and Tom Collins as well, have both been poached by bigger clubs.
That's right.
So there's checks and balances, but I kind of feel like that's the way that it's always going to be now. That the guys that have kind of came to these levels, improving themselves for a year or two, will get moving back up. In return, kind of young talent that's maybe a wee bit unproven, but really keen to get going, will take their place and will keep going again, basically. And especially with the way the pyramid is now, there's a lot of teams at the bottom end of that SPFL that are basically just treading water at the minute. And not to sound arsey about it, the sooner they get out the SPFL and down the leagues, the better.
Yeah, well, I think they've got that safety net, haven't they, for a long time now, that they're protected by kind of the lack of relegation. So, I mean, these West and East teams are coming, and same with the teams that are already in the Lowland League, they'll be looking to progress as well. So, yeah, watch our back, I think, is probably the scenario.
And obviously that's why we were so keen to get that kind of clarity on the playoff side of things as well, because the shambles that's just happened the previous season ending early and all that kind of thing. Looking forward, realistically, I don't think there's going to be any changes. The playoffs are going to be here to stay. They're not going to bring in automatic relegation. So for ambitious sides like your Cowanans, your Talbot, sides that are already in the Lowland, BSC, East Kilbride, all these kind of teams, it's still going to be just as tough to get up. But it looks like that's not holding anyone back. There's still money getting spent, signings getting made. Everyone's keen to progress to the highest possible level they can get to, and it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, I think the thing will be is that Lowland League in a few years' time is going to be super strong in it.
Yeah.
The actual Lowland League itself is going to be a class league to play in with East and West teams in it potentially. So, yeah, I think the teams in the League Two bottom half should be worried because there's probably 8 or 9 teams there that are potentially ready to take their place at some point. So they're going to protect themselves as long as they can in terms of like relegation and stuff like that. So we're probably not going to see what do you call it, any progression in terms of relegation for a while. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know how do we change it. I think that's the thing. I can't really see a way that it would actually change.
I think the only way that will force change is, say, if the next 3 playoffs are pretty comfortably won by Tier 5. Because at that point you can say, well, why have we even got the playoff? Like, there's no point in it. We're
Yeah,
trouncing the teams at the bottom of the league to make it automatic, and save them some embarrassment, I guess you could say. But then the flip side, if you did that, would be that Highland Loan playoff would be a massive occasion. Just make it a one-off game, even stick it at a big stadium in the
yeah,
middle of, like, I don't know, McDermott Park, or stick it at Tannadice.
Tannadice, yeah.
That could be a massive occasion if you plan it right. So,
Yeah. Well, look at what
I,
happens in England with the playoffs, and it's like played at Wembley. There's thousands of fans go to it. I mean, it's obviously not going to be that level of big, but
mhm.
for our own league, it's going to be a tasty game. So winner takes all to get promoted. That's going to be huge.
Aye, definitely. But we'll need to wait, I'd say, a minimum of 3 years. Knowing the people kind of behind the league, obviously George is still kind of leading the charge for the Lowland. They're constantly asking for it. But you can't get turkeys to vote for Christmas.
That's it. I
So,
think. Yeah, that's the thing, in it? They're going to protect themselves at all costs. So I'd expect it not to change much over the years.
like, it might change. Say if you did get those 3 teams going up, so there's 3 more voices that are probably in favour of it. The clubs that are there will maybe want to make it easier for those teams to get back up that have been relegated. That's the scenario, I think, where it could change. But again, who knows? We'll need to wait and see, unfortunately. But other than that, is there anything else Lowland region wise that's caught your eye or you want to kind of touch on?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I think that's the main. One of the things, probably just a quick to shout out to the guys at the West of Scotland League. Look like they're doing some great stuff in terms of the online content. I think it's been pretty good. All the stuff that's been put out, all the stuff on the website and the press release and all that's all been absolute first class. It's a wild change from the West Region Juniors that we've had. I guess we haven't mentioned the famous investigation at the West Region Juniors.
Yeah, kind of ended in a damn squib, that
Did
investigation,
it?
didn't it?
I
Just
down now, just kind of petered out a wee bit.
basically just, nothing's happening, move on.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the thing is just that the junior football in the West is effectively dead now anyway. So it's not really a big deal. It's a wee bit better how it ended, but just like a wee bad breakup in it, a wee bad, let me, a dirty breakup from your ex. It's like wee bit awkward, a wee bit tense, but we forget about it, we move on, and it's pastures new in the terms of the West.
And obviously, the fallout from the juniors is we'll need to wait and see if the Junior Cup actually happens this year as well, with schedules, and it was already going to be difficult to fit that in. So I assume that the only way that's going to happen now is if they do vote for that half a season schedule for a one-off year.
Yeah, I think I'd be quite surprised that a lot of teams wanting to take their Junior Cup entry now for that reason as well. So remember, that's still optional for for
As
teams
I.
is so. You might find that teams look at that and go, "I've got a lot of games to play in my league. Plus, if there's cups in the US setup as well, that Scottish Junior Cup is going to be fourth choice pretty much. It's going to be take forever to play. So I don't think there'll be many teams that want to play it. I think logically it makes sense not to when you've potentially got all these fixtures. You know what it's like when it comes to the weather in the west of Scotland in December, January, February. You start to have the pile ups and start playing 2 or 3 games a week when it comes to the summer months. So that'll only make that worse. So yeah, the other thing about the Scottish Junior Cup is they haven't actually like decided on what's going to happen with the last season's cup. I don't think I've seen
Aye.
anything kind of decided about that at all, which is
It's
odd.
still sitting unfinished, isn't it? It's not had any confirmation of whether it's going to get finished, or I think they said their plan was to finish it this year.
Yeah, I think they hope to, because obviously it has that Scottish Cup entry, the Senior Scottish Cup entry attached to it. So there'll be teams there that want to play that to try and get their chance at the Senior Scottish. But I don't know if that's just something that's kind of just been forgotten about almost. It doesn't seem like it's been discussed at all. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there too.
But aye, other than that, I guess what we're saying is we'll be back when we know more to tell you all about what's going on, and if there's any kind of league fixtures, league schedules come out, we'll obviously come back and reflect on those as soon as we've got a confirmed start date, and if there's going to be fans as well. We're in a kind of just a weird state of time here where we're waiting on somebody to actually make a move and sort it, pretty much for everything to do with lower league football. So it does feel like we've been forgotten about as the SPFL's imploded with legal cases and all that. I know the Highland and Lowland together did put a complaint into the SFA about that as well, that there's been very little in terms of financial assistance or guidance given to any of our leagues in the aftermath of the shutdown and pandemic and so on. We'll probably never hear back for that either, to be honest. It'll just be noted, let's be honest. But aye, obviously we're here to bring you the positive side of it and kind of back up our teams in our game at the hill. We'll keep doing it. And all that's left to say really is thanks for listening. We'll be back soon, and hopefully we'll be back talking about who's going to win what leagues and back to the usual nonsense.
Indeed.
Thanks for listening, folks. I have been Derek. You can find me on Twitter at MozaPlays. You can also find the Catchup podcast and a full suite of pods that will be coming out at Official Catchup on Twitter as well. We're on Instagram and we're on Facebook. You can find us the usual means on there. Ben, how about yourself?
Get me on Twitter at Mr. Ben Grant on Twitter. My Twitter is back to being open rather than private, so come at me with your abuse. The saying goes.
Closed it off after all the Darvel fans came after him, basically when he was when he was retweeting stuff.
That and Ryan Stevenson trying to hide from my mother.
I saw a noise back in the west. Hide. Right, we will catch you soon, probably in a couple of weeks. Just as transfer business all gets rounded up and things happen. But until then, stay safe. Catch you later.